I remember Paul McCartney being asked about how do you produce music, and it's one of the, where does it come from? And sometimes people have got it through a dream and so on. But he says sometimes it's just a case of you hit a note and you like that note, and then you hit another note and you like that, playing with that note, and then you build round that note, and it eventually starts to grow into something you didn't initially have a full concept about. And it's a wee bit like that sometimes with a painting. You start off with a main character. That's why some of the girls that I do, or the characters that I do, one character says that's a strong character, and then it starts to suggest other things around it. You know, it's like a jigsaw. It's other pieces start to come in and you start to build something. Often you can land up with something you didn't conceive of at the beginning. Artists I really like, the serious artists that I like, I often find that there's chapters in their life where they deal with different things. Some of it can be deliberate, where you pre-design it, pre-think it out. Sometimes it can be fortuitous. The Sniffy series was totally fortuitous. I did a couple of wee pictures and I'd put this little character in. I was not intending it to go anywhere at all. I sent it down to the Royal Academy in London. They sold on the opening night. They loved it, and I get a series of people writing me saying, have you any more of that? Have you got a book on that? And I said, no, I haven't. And people started to ask me for it. So it started taking on its own arms and legs. I see the Sniffy ones like little playlets, little theatrical stages, where you've got the grand house stuff at the back, you've got the Sniffy character, and playing on art itself, where Sniffy becomes the commentator figure, a bit like Hitchcock in his movies, where he just comes through, doesn't see anything, but it's enough to make a comment. That's my picture, my piece of work. And he stands often, he's always seen in profile. I don't see him any other way, he's always in profile. So that creates a wee bit of enigma, you know. Why is he always in profile? They should be seen, especially the vignettes with Sniffy, should be seen as tongue-in-cheek and good fun. But when occasionally you see a little icon, or see some of the things which I regard as an iconography of my work, you maybe see that there's, why is that burger there? You know, has it got a thought behind it? Why is it there? You can make it into a metaphor, you can suggest something else. So there's a wee bit more, it's like poetics, where a line can be read prosaically, or it can have underlying other ideas behind it. So I like to play with that, I like to see that, it's like in poetry. So I'm often looking at stuff that I enjoy, looking back some of the classics where it's Canaletto and so on. But also from a political point of view, Canalettos, I remember one time said that the rich and the aristocracy are starting to go down a level when they start selling off their Canalettos. So there's little hints at that type of cultural thing and political thing. But again, at the end of the day, that's just because it's the way I think and the way I am interested in history and seeing interesting metaphors and connections. That's the interesting thing about art. It's not a science where you're actually applying it to something that has to work. You have to be able to prove it and so on. You can go off and go into fantasy and you can play with it and you can hint at it. And it's an interesting medium because you can create a whole world inside that little rectangle or square. And if you can add a little bit of humour and fun and hint at some things, that's what I find more interesting.